Society International with Australia. Feel free to put phones and recording device at the front. Please be joined by Sarina and Ella, and we will start with you, Anton, if that's okay.
Morning, nice to see you both.
Morning.
Sarina, first off, look, I know there's one more training session to go, but how's the squad and how's Alex Greenwood after what looked like quite a nasty knock the other night?
The squad is good. Yes, we have one more session to go. We had one extra day because we played on Thursday, so everyone's on the pitch, and Alex will be assessed at club, so she left camp.
What was the problem? Because it looked like, was it neck, is it head, is it concussion?
No, it was head. And after the game, she had some symptoms of concussion, so we didn't want to take any risk, want to follow protocol, so she went back home.
Obviously, that leaves sort of, a gap in defence. And we've all seen Steph Wharton's comments over the weekend. So I just want to find out from you. Sort of first off, what were your reaction when you saw what she had to say?
When you
saw what she had to say over the weekend about wanting closure on her international career.
Yeah. Well, she of course Steph is a very good player, a very experienced player. I have lots of respect for what she's done for the women's game and what she came back in the squad with Man City. But the players I have now in that position, I don't want to take out because I think they perform really well. So that's the reason why.
When you have a player like Steph, a senior player that's been captain for so long during sort of difficult times off the field and all those kind of things as well, do players like that need to be sort of treated differently? Do the conversations, are they more difficult? How does it work?
Yeah, of course it's difficult because she's done so much for the game. I think it's difficult with everyone because everyone trains so hard, and so does she. She wants to, of course, to come back. But we had some more players that I really had to disappoint with the choices I made. And that always makes it hard. What I just tried to do, communicate and give some context about my choices.
So can we expect any changes for the game? Obviously one, because Alex isn't here, but other than that, for the game tomorrow? Yeah,
we're not planning on making many changes to start with. We're getting closer and closer, and we don't have that many games before we get our first match on the 22nd of July. And this is a big game where we want to see our team in the best possible way. We'll see some players also, but we're not making very many changes. Like Australia is a big country. It's the number 10 of the world ranking. So we hope we're going to be challenged again, but we're doing a little bit better at some moments than we did Thursday.
Ella, we spoke to you after the game on Thursday, but how are you? Because that was an up and down emotional game for you, wasn't it? How's it been sort of this weekend and preparing for this game?
Yeah, and that's football. Like I said after the game, I've scored a goal in the game. It's gone to penalties and I've missed my penalty, but that's part and parcel of football and I learned from that. And yeah, I've come back into training, feeling great. I thought we played really well. And obviously we got what we wanted and we got the win. So that was the main thing. And yeah, I've started practicing my penalties in training.
I want to ask you about Mary Earps. Obviously she's someone you know well at club level and with country as well. But it was fascinating chatting to sort of earlier on. She was, said, well, good game. And she was like, well, it wasn't because of X, Y, Z. But she just won, as an England goalkeeper, won a penalty shootout. What's she like as a person? Because that's a certain mentality, isn't it? Yeah,
that's Mary's mentality. I think for all of us, that's the mentality that we have. We have that winning mentality and we have high standards of ourselves. So when we do make mistakes, we want to put them right. And yeah, Mary was unbelievable in the game. She made some great saves, and then in the penalty shootout she did amazing for us, and we know what Mary's like. We know that she can pull off great saves, but for Mary's standards, yeah, she's going to dwell on that little mistake that she made in the game, but we know that with Mary and how she is, that she'll make sure she works on that and puts it right. But yeah, that's the mentality that Mary has.
Final question from me, Ella. Whenever I see you around England camp or with United, you're usually very close to Alessia Russo. How much do you hope that the World Cup isn't the last time you two get to meet up very often? Because obviously we're still waiting to see if she's going to sign a new contract at United. Yeah,
of course. We're joined at the hip. We're best friends, so we love playing together. We love being around each other. We love each other's company, so that will never change no matter where Alessia is. And as a friend, I'll always be proud of what she does and what she goes on to achieve. But yeah, obviously I love playing with her. Right now we're at England camp and we're spending every day together, and yeah, we're playing football together, and that's the main thing. So I think for now it's just enjoying now together, and whatever happens.
Thanks, Anton. We'll take questions from the floor. We'll go to Molly.
Hi both. Sarina, you talk about that kind of role as a manager where you do have to disappoint people when you're on such a long unbeaten run and everything's going so great. Is that almost one of the hardest parts of the job, that you do know that you can only select so many people and it's so competitive?
Yeah, that's hard because you know how hard every player works to get into the squad, and yeah, and you have to, sometimes you bring good news and sometimes you bring not so good news. That's absolutely part of the job. So you want to do it as clear as possible, so the message is clear and you get some context. But of course, I find that hard too.
And obviously we saw Australia play Scotland a couple of days ago. I just wondered if you saw any of that match and what you made of it. And obviously Sam Kerr didn't play in that one. Obviously a big name, a big test for any defence in the world. Obviously it would be nice to see how you face up to that, I suppose.
Yeah, I think they rested her for a little bit for tomorrow's game. Well, I think Australia played a good series of games, so they have had some very good results. I think the game against Scotland doesn't really represent what they have done over the last months. But I think we'll get some big challenges too. They're very physical, they're very direct. Of course, they have Sam Kerr up front. Yes, so that's a little different than what Brazil did, but still very challenging. So they're athletic too, and they're so committed. They play so with the heart for Australia. So we can expect some.
And for Ella, you mentioned that it was kind of an up and down game. How much do you learn from that? I suppose we see quite often with this England team at the moment, it's a very upward trajectory and it's been so positive. Is it almost good to have experiences like that to learn from and to grow from?
Yeah, of course. I think every game that we play in, we always take lots of learnings from. And that game especially, I think obviously the first half we put on a great show and we kept the ball really well, and we probably could have been more than 1-0 up. And then second half changed, and it was about how we dealt with that. And obviously we look back on it all and we've reflected on it and we've learnt a lot from that game. But yeah, every game that we play in, we make sure that we watch back and we learn from.
Thank you and good luck.
Thanks, Molly. We'll go to Tom.
Thank you very much, both of you. Sarina, could I just ask you about Australia? Have you considered the possibility that you might face each other in the last 16 of the World Cup? It seems like a possibility. And if so, is there any kind of cat and mouse to be played tomorrow? Are you going to try and maybe throw some surprises so that you're not doing what they might see in the tournament?
Yes, we are aware that can happen in the World Cup. But this is now, we really want to improve. We're really looking at ourselves. What do we want to do? What do we get out of this game? And then some more games will be in between, if it would happen, in between till we would meet them. So we don't think that much ahead. They have some injuries too. That probably those players will come back. Same with us. No, we're not going to do now different things to maybe what happens in the future. It's now and tomorrow.
And they're top 10 in the world, obviously. Do you see them as one of the teams that could win the World Cup? Do you think they're in contention?
Well, I'm not focusing on what they could do. I think they play at home. So they really want to make, of course you always want to do really well in a World Cup, but even this can give them a little extra boost. I think they have a good team. I think there are many countries that would be able to win a World Cup. I think it's not so clear and I think there are many favourites for this tournament.
And could I just go back to questions that Anton was asking about Steph Houghton, because she seems to still be hoping to go to the World Cup. Can you see any scenario where you would include her in your World Cup squad?
Yeah, I think it's hard. At this moment, she's in a hard position because, as I said to Anton too, I don't want to take out the players who are in now in that position because I think they're doing really well. So the chances are not that high, but I will never close the door because when you're in international football, you're an English coach, you want everyone to be available too. So if things happen and go really bad for some players, then situation changes. So, but at this moment, I make other choices.
Thank you both for your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. We'll go to Michael Cox at The Athletic. Thanks.
Thanks. Hi, Sarina. After the game on Thursday, Pearson Haga spoke about what a challenge it was for Brazil to play at Wembley. England got a good record there, 81,000 fans.
83. be even more.
That's stand corrected. England played so many matches against big opponents at home over the last couple of years since you came in. The Euros, the Arnold Clark Cup, the USA game, the Finalissima tomorrow night. Is there any danger that England are almost too accustomed to playing with home advantage? And can you do anything to prepare the players for the challenge of playing on the other side of the world?
Well, accustomed is a big word. I would say we never get complacent. I think from every game we play, also the game Thursday, we did win with penalties, but I think we had some big challenges during the game. The first half we did really well. The second half we were struggling a little bit. We take a lot of things out of that. And yes, we do have an advantage then with the fans in the stadium, but we also bring it back to what do we have to do. So our game, and really focus on that. So, for example, when we had to go to the penalties, there was no one who was really aware of what was happening around us. So we just focused on we had 10 players on the pitch who were probably, or 11, had to play shoot a penalty. We just talk about football all the time and about how we want to play and how we can do that as a team. And it's really nice to play in an environment like this. And you see, in England, it was big already, but so many people are so enthusiastic about it, so they come to watch the games. I think in Australia, the advantage may be for Australia, but I also think there's pretty much a lot of English people there too, so hopefully we get some of them in the stadiums too.
And also after the game, Pia spoke about her tactics and the formation she played. And she spoke about England's kind of physical power and Brazil having to cope with that. Is that something you see as an advantage for England, a real strength of your side?
Well, I think our team is fit and we have depth in the team, so we can make changes too. I thought Brazil was pretty physical too. This was a very physical match, and I think they challenged us too in our physicality. So I think both teams are very physical. That's what we expect tomorrow too. So a physical, aggressive Australia, that's how they play too. So we'll see.
And just one question to Ella. Another big goal for you on Thursday, 16 and 30 for England now. You also picked up some really good positions between the lines and played some passes from there. What is your role in this England side, and how does it differ from what you're used to at Manchester United?
I think it's quite similar. I think it's finding those pockets of space and getting on the ball and being brave to make something happen and to play forward. I think at both club and country, that's what I try and do. I try and get on the ball and create things in the final third. I think from both managers, it's giving me that opportunity to play with that bit of freedom and have confidence and belief in me to go out there and show what I can do. So obviously another goal on Thursday was really nice, but the main thing for us was the win.
Thanks, Michael. We'll go to Rachel, Press Association at the back. Thank you.
Thanks. So after the match of the day, Pia also said, Sarina, that you're the best manager in the world. And I'm wondering how that feels to get that kind of a boost or that kind of a compliment from a peer.
Yeah, well, of course, that's a big compliment. So really, really appreciate it. Felt a little bit strange, or how do you say that? A little bit awkward too. Like, she's won so many things over the years. She's been a manager for years and years, and she has a couple of gold medals. I think bronze medal too. So she's done such a tremendous job. So it was really nice that an inspirational coach like her says things like that, but not too much. You know, tomorrow's another game, and we're just trying to win the game.
Ella, how about you? How do you feel about that comment about your own boss?
That's lovely, that, isn't it? Yeah, Sarina's a great manager, and we're all very lucky to have her here. And I think we're all just excited to be on this journey with her, and we've achieved so much as a team already, and we just want to keep improving as players under Sarina.
Obviously, I'm not sure if you saw yesterday, your role in training and what happened in the Arsenal-Liverpool match. There was an official who may or may not have made deliberate contact with the player. Just wondering if you have any reaction to that, if you had seen any clips afterward.
We were actually in a meeting, so we haven't seen it yet. But yeah, we've got more important things to think about, and obviously for us, it's focusing on tomorrow's game.
How important is it that relationship goes both ways, that officials and players are having, for a match in that kind of high pressure situation?
Yeah, of course it's important. It's important that the players respect the officials and the officials respect the players. So whatever happened, hopefully it gets sorted out. But like I said, for us, it's focusing on camp and focusing on our game that's tomorrow.
We're about 100 days out now from heading to Australia. What was it like for you as players, knowing that you're about to host? Kind of what, put yourself in the shoes of Australia, what might they be feeling about welcoming the world in just 100 days' time?
Yeah, excitement. I think for us it was so exciting knowing that we were hosting a major tournament in our home country. So for the Australians, I think it'll be massive, and it's just for us somewhere else to go and perform, and hopefully we can get loads of fans in the stadiums and enjoying the football.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. We'll take a couple more questions from the floor if there are any. Yes? Of course, no problems.
Thank you. Sarina, it's worth mentioning that this World Cup, this will be your second World Cup as a manager. Do you feel a personal weight of expectation on your shoulders, given from your previous experience from the World Cup in France?
No, well, I think I went to Canada too in 2015 as an assistant coach. No, I don't feel more pressure. It's different because I'm coaching a different country now. So the pressure was on in the Netherlands and the pressure is on now. But since I came in here in England, everyone expected us to win anyway. So that doesn't change anything. And we expect from us that we want to be the best we can be. So we work every day to improve every day. And that's what we're focusing on.
Now, you stressed the importance, particularly during the last year's Euros, to have a place that's home away from home. And we're here at the Lensbury. You described this place as home away from home. How important is it to have that kind of feel for the World Cup in Australia?
Yeah, we had some site visits. So we went there with a couple of staff members. I think we're finishing now where we're going, and I think that looks really good. I think we can create a home away from home there.
And Ella, bearing in mind that tomorrow's friendly, do you feel that this might be a bit of a WSL encounter, considering that most squads across England and Australia already play in the WSL?
Yeah, there are a lot of players who play here, but this is an international game, another big game, and we want to test ourselves against top opposition. So we'll prepare like another international game, and we'll go out there and we'll stick to the game plan that we have. And hopefully it's a successful game.
And lastly, Leah, of course, the captain, is also the team's designated DJ. And it's known that particularly during the Euros, you played a lot of ABBA. Have you given any suggestions of playlists to take to Australia? And if Sarina, have you given any suggestions?
No. You go ahead.
Yeah, I think for us, I'm sticking with ABBA. I mean, it worked in the Euros, and we all love it. So yeah, we've told her to keep them coming.
No, I'm just focusing on football, and I'm absolutely not in charge of the music.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Any other questions? If not, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank
Thank you.